joined by Emmet from AW Ennis. Maybe you'd outline the products that you can provide to farmers to supplement them during the time of crisis.
Yes, there's a couple of different options depending on the farm and the scenarios that we face. Some farmers have only a mild issue to deal with, and ordinary coarse rations or beef nuts, things like that, can work very, very well for most people. But for some scenarios where farms are very restricted with forage, fodder extender type diets, which are very, very high fibre diets, straw pellet based diets, those kind of diets can be very, very useful in a scenario where farmers are under severe pressure when it comes to forage shortages. So we basically call to farmers, and farmers can ring us up or contact us any day in the office, whether they're clients or whether they're non-clients. And we can meet the farmer and discuss all the various options for the farmer. So, as I said, if it doesn't matter if it's beef farmers, dairy farmers or sheep farmers, we'll have a look, assess the farm, see what we think is going to suit, outline the various options then for the farmer, and work with them then to achieve a goal. For some farmers, the goal is just to keep the cattle alive. For some farmers, it's to have an increase in performance, an increase in growth in their animals. So we take it on an individual basis and decide then what to do in those circumstances.
Some of your advice almost seemed like science, that it was coming out of a laboratory because it was so detailed and so beneficial. So how can you get that relative to some farmers who may have only farming experience, and then there may be regional differences? So you obviously have to vary how you approach farmers in different parts of Ireland.
Yeah, and even farmers in the same town land, in the same enterprises, doing the same things, it's actually often end up with two very different outcomes, two very different sets of advice. And I suppose the most important thing with farmers is to always emphasise the most important parts. Like, a farmer won't have to remember everything that we would discuss or tell him. But we would often emphasise the most important parts of what we're discussing. So, for argument's sake, if we notice a guy has a lot of issues health-wise on a farm, so animals might be coughing in the shed, or animals mightn't just look as healthy as they should, we will advise the farmer maybe time to do some dung samples and just check what parasites may be present in those circumstances. So that would be one example. We may tell the farmer that twice or three times during our hour or hour and a half visit that we would make, so that the most important thing the farmer remembers after the visit is, right, well, that advisor told me to do 2 or 3 different things. I can remember 2 or 3 different things, but there's no point in us advising them to do 20 things, because it's not really feasible or possible for a farmer to remember all them things as well as run his farm on top of all that.
So you have even an online presence, so if a farmer feels that when he's completed his work in the evening, that he can sit down, log on to your website and maybe put in a request. So maybe you'd outline how on this now what's important social media side of AW Ennis that a farmer can make contact and get the advice he needs from you.
Yeah, we're generally approachable almost round the clock. We're always available, even weekends, for farmers, if for our own clients and potential clients and things like that, depending on the circumstances. So if a farmer runs into major difficulty in a farm, he picks up the phone generally and rings us. If not, several farmers would often text us now and things like that if they have issues, or they want to know how to change diets, or they want to know how to basically improve their silage quality, things like that. So we don't see a huge amount of requests coming through the likes of Facebook or Twitter yet, but as the younger generation starts to take over on farms, we're definitely going to see an awful lot more involvement online as opposed to face-to-face. But for the moment, a lot of it is face-to-face, and a lot of advisory work has to be done on the farm. While it might be nice to sit in a warm office and give instructions down the telephone to a farmer, often you don't see actually what's going on the farm unless you are on the farm. And again, you notice the sounds in the shed, the smells in the shed, what's visibly in front of stock, and often with a farm, a fresh pair of eyes going into a farm is very, very useful, because you may see things on a farm that are potentially going to be troublesome, and you often can save farmers quite a lot of money if you get them pointed out and get issues resolved.
So AW Ennis know the farmer, know the farming language, and they're always on hand.
Yeah, I mean, we're very lucky in one sense because we're in, I suppose, the heart of the intensive farming area, and we're in the heart of the extensive farming area. So we're a multi-species company. So we get to see poultry would be our main area, but a lot of technology from species crosses over. So pig diets. Pig technology is very relevant. Some of that is very relevant for dairy. Some dairy technology is very relevant for pigs. Some pig technology is very relevant now for beef. So you get a lot of crossovers between species and various different things like that. And a lot of, I suppose, new technologies, how we do things in 5 and 10 years' time today, what we do today will look almost unrecognisable as regards how things will move in the future, how we will formulate diets for farmers, how technology and how science will bring a lot of trial work forward, and things like that. Like we would be relatively innovative as a company, even though we don't do a huge amount of advertising, things like that. We specialise in on the ruminant end of it in alkaline-based diets. So basically, that has been a huge revolution as regards how animals, whether the dairy, sheep or beef animals, are fed. It has removed a lot of issues on farms as regards nutritional problems farmers run into. And I suppose having exclusivity to a product like Alka barley, which is our main product that we would use, has opened up a huge amount of new markets for us. It allows us to use a huge amount of grain and cereal. So like a lot of Irish wheat, a lot of Irish barley will go into feeds. An awful lot more than you could ordinarily use. And the technology has been around a while, but it has only been very slow to have been adopted in Ireland. And Ennis has picked up the baton 3 years ago as regards the alkaline-based diets. And it has been a huge growth area for us. It's gone from nothing a few years ago to being a massive part of the business today. And in a year, 2, 3 years' time, something else might come along that will even be better again, or will have another function or another role within various different species or across species. So it's very exciting to see all these new technologies that are available and coming down the stream. But certainly, it's lovely to be able to go into a farm or when there's a problem on a farm, whether or not they're a client is irrelevant. But if you can go in and you can solve that problem for the farmer, and you can demonstrate how you've been able to help him make more money essentially out of the business he has for a minimal spend or even no spend in some cases, that's a very gratifying part of the work that you generally do on farms. And again, it doesn't matter if it's a pig farm or a poultry farm or a beef or a sheep or a dairy farm. But certainly, it's when you give advice to a farmer and the farmer follows the advice and the result is exactly how you predicted it would be all along, and you can financially show a farmer, well, because he was willing to listen and because he or she was willing to do what you asked them to do, that all of a sudden, there's an extra €1,000 or an extra 2,000 or an extra €5,000 that they have for profit in the end of the year. And because margins are always tight in beef, have been relatively good in dairy, but will be tighter again next year, and sheep can be up and down as well. That any way at all that you can help save a farmer money or make him more money or make him more efficient or make and improve their enterprise, it's always welcomed.
There certainly seems to be a great interest in your presentation here in the Slieve Russell, and thank you very much for talking to Irishwebtv.
Thank you.